When we have Tyvis and Dustin this week, we'll talk about these defensive mishaps and miscommunications again. But, Jason, you were in the locker room yesterday, and I know Thornhill mentioned he mixed up some signals. There were multiple occasions, too, in particular, where Denzel Ward and Thornhill were involved in some sort of busted coverage that led to a long Chargers touchdown. What do you make of it? That secondary is way too talented, and there's way too many veteran guys back there to be having coverage busts and coverage breakdowns, whether it be miscommunication, whether it be missed assignments, whatever it may be. What do you make of that? How do you put that into context, and how do you explain what happened on 2 crucial third downs yesterday?
There's no excuse for this to still be happening. They've switched out the defensive coordinator. We tried blaming Joe Woods. They switched out the DC and pretty much the entire defensive staff. Mm-hmm. They've switched out the safeties. It was JJ3. Now it's Juan. The only constant in all this is Denzel. If we're being honest, the constant in all the coverage busts is usually on Denzel's side. And I remember one of them back in the day when it was Joe's defense and JJ was here, Denzel was just playing the wrong coverage. He's just in the wrong. I think he was cover 3 and the rest were cover 2.
That's what happened yesterday.
And that's exactly what it looked like happened yesterday. I was talking to Tyvis in the press box at halftime, and I mean I don't want to speak for him. I'm sure he'll come on and explain it much better than I can. But he basically said the same. Not that he was blaming Denzel necessarily, but that he doesn't understand. The way he puts it is this too cool for school. Why can't you just turn to the man next to you and tell him what you're playing? And
that's the most idiotic thing I've ever heard.
It really is. It really is.
That it's uncool to communicate?
Well, and so Denzel said multiple times, put it on me, this is my fault. Like, I'll wear this.
No, that's on the coaches too. That they're accepting this.
And this is what I want to know from Tyvis and Dustin, who've played in the secondary in the NFL. You don't really know exactly the call until you see the formation. Is it 3-by-1? You know what I mean? Are they going empty? Mm-hmm. So, yes, it's on the coaches, but it's on the dudes who are on the field.
Sure.
Once you see how they're lined up, to look at each other so that you know where the other guys are going. So it's on the players. And Juan said they didn't get the call around. And that's inexcusable.
It's ridiculous.
It's totally inexcusable.
And the reason I blame the coaches, and obviously I blame the players as well, is that this is because it's not new. If you're not coaching it, you're allowing it to happen.
Yeah.
Why are there no consequences for this constant screw up that happens?
I mean, I don't want to make light of this because we've talked about how serious the head injuries are with Denzel, but a couple of the press box were like,
yeah,
has he been should he have been cleared? Is he still having some foggy brain from the?
Yeah.
And he was even asked.
That's
fair.
He
asked, is the concussion? Yeah. And he laughed. He's like, no, that had nothing to do with it.
Well, listen, man, it's getting to a point where you got to break it down and you got to say this don't happen in high school. That stuff don't happen.
That's what Tyvis said
at
yesterday.
A high school
he said,
level.
This is pee-wee level stuff.
This is the easiest fix in the world. They do it at every level. You know what they do? It's called echoing the coverage or echoing what the call is. If the linebacker comes up, and how they used to tell us when we used to have tests. Right? They would give us written tests before the game. And when you do the written test, you not only had to diagram what you were doing, you had to diagram everything. So as a defensive lineman, you diagram what the safeties, what the coverage is, what is the identifying role, strength, all that. If you did not pass this test, you didn't play. This is wild. This is in college, and this is at a MAC school.
Because this is what happens when you don't know.
If you don't, people are wide open. And then when you get on the field, it's foolproof. You know how? Because there's 2 safeties back there. Both safeties are tasked with knowing what the coverage is. One says it, the other one confirms it. If there is an issue where one person does not see it, one person can overrule the other person. No. This is boom, boom, boom. This is cover 3. This is sky. And then we echo it. We come to a consensus. That's why it's important to get the calls in early so that you can see the formation and you can understand. And if there's an issue, guess what you do? Timeout. And if we're confused, timeout. Up front, the green dot calls the play to the strength. All linebackers echo it. The defensive line echoes it. So now you get lined up, you can play fast, and you know what you're doing. If you can't line up and know what the formation is, you're dead. You might as well not play. And this happened twice. And the problem I have is they trot off the field, they look around, no one's saying too much. You just gave up 14 points in the National Football League. These games, Vegas, 3 points. Either way, you gave up 14. That was a game. It didn't matter. It's too hard to come back from that, Bull.
And I actually thought the defensive line was playing very well.
Yes.
Obviously, Myles Garrett had a great game. We'll talk about him in a second. But across the board, I thought they were getting good pressure consistently. Dobbins, obviously, at the end of the game had the big run for the touchdown. But he hadn't really done much until the end, and the game was over at that point anyway.
Third downs. And this happened on 3rd and 20, 3rd and 14.
Yeah, they have two big first downs on that.
You've already done the hard part.
Yep. Just finish it off now.
Finish your breakfast. Finish your food, man.
Yeah.
Jason, I texted you guys. Diabate was wearing the green dot yesterday. First time wearing the green dot. I asked G on the postgame show. I'm not sure if you got any information from their locker room, but could that have been part of the miscommunication breakdown? I'm not blaming him whatsoever. I'm just asking, could that be part of the reason?
No, I didn't get over to him yesterday. I was trying to get a couple different things, so I didn't ask him. But it's a fair point that you brought up, and maybe it's something that we can explore this week during availability. When with JOK not in there, you asked me during the game, who's wearing the green dot, and it was Diabate, and probably the first time he would have that responsibility, I would think.
Yeah.
And so maybe that would be, but again, G, can you?
The backup's got to be prepared for that.
Yeah. But for the secondary, to me, feels like it's a much different call because you don't know until you see the formation.
It is.
So is it really on the guy wearing the dot? Because this is on these dudes. Once they see how the offense is lined up, it's on these guys to communicate within themselves.
Exactly, because if 2x2, 3x1,
right? What
are you doing? All your assignments change based on what they're doing.
Yes.
So that wouldn't have anything to do with Diabate. At most, he's calling the strength of the formation and which way you want to put your Sam or your Will linebacker. Other than that, the safeties and the defensive backs have to be on one string.
Yeah,
they have. You have to, and the fact that you don't see these guys talking or listen, I would make, if I was Schwartz, I would make them. I don't care if it tipped off what my coverage was. I would make them. When you got that call, you have to confirm. Hey, this is Let them know we're in cover 3, because you can't. You cannot give up them type plays because that's the game. It's done.
And why does it have to give anything away? Couldn't you use code words like?
You could.
Whatever.
They can't even communicate cover 3. Now you want them to talk in code?
Yeah.
But the most damning.
It's not really complicated.
Look at this. The most damning part about it is though. See, they doing all this. They doing this.
Yep.
Handshakes.
Yep.
Gang signs.
Yep.
I got to tell you.
You know how you have to memorize that. You got to do that before practice, after practice, during lunch, because everybody got a unique handshake. All of them. You telling me you could do that, but you can't turn around to the safety and say, yeah, we in cover 2.
That's a great point, G.
What?
Yes, they all have their own individual things.
That's a great
I
point.
can't take the celebrating when you get in your ass kicked.
I'm with you.
Greg Newsome dancing for one pass breakup when they're losing by 17 points. Give me a break.
It looks crazy.
It looks immature.
Yeah.
It really looks immature.
I know you guys want to celebrate, but you doing D linemen got the handshakes. The whole second backups got the handshakes.
If you're up 27-10, I'll come out and dance with you. But when you're down 27-10,
when you're celebrating, it feels to me when you celebrate when you're losing that it's all about me, not about the team.
Yeah,
that's how it comes off.
And look, I'm the flashiest dude in the world. I had sunglasses on right now and gold chains. But if I came in here and was like, I didn't watch no games, I didn't do anything, they'd be like, bro, you was up half the night working on your outfit and you did nothing today. You didn't even speak.
Fair.
It's a fair point, G.
Go ahead, Mike.
It's a fair point.
Yeah.